playoff points on the line for sure. So that, and then just it'd be cool to close it out, and you still get a trophy out of it. Obviously, the championship at the end of the year means more, but still, nonetheless, it's we all go to battle for stretch this regular season. So it'd be nice to be able to close this out. Really, if we can get through here without any real big drama, I think we'll be in good shape to hang on to what we got if we can get out of here in the lead.
How do you balance that between the drama that this track presents and making sure that you're safe?
I say all that, and I'll still have the same approach for the race tomorrow. I mean, you just got to go out there, and the strategy's pretty straightforward now. Everyone does a lot of the same stuff: save fuel, then go after we pit in each of those stages. So just kind of where it is. So we just got to do a better job of it than our competitors, and that'll allow us to hopefully get some points. Yes, a crash could happen, but it can happen anywhere. I feel like closer you are to the front, the better off you are at missing it.
Does the shorter first stage kind of change the strategy at all? Being able to be more aggressive, not fuel save as much?
No, I think if I got it right in my head, how many laps first stage?
35.
I think there'll still be some of it. 35, then what's the second one?
It's like 65 or 60.
Yeah, I think some of that nonsense will still go on, even though, the first one's 35. I still think the same thing's going to happen. Get the end of that stage right, and whoever takes, has to win on pit road the least amount of time is going to, leapfrog the way to the front of that stage. So I'm sure it'll still happen.
That win at Talladega, does that give you any extra confidence coming to Daytona now?
I mean, I feel like between that, I know the duel is kind of short, right? There's only one stop in that as well, but I feel like we've done a good job with the strategy front, staying towards the front of the pack so we can come off pit road in each of the stages. So yeah, to some degree. Obviously, circumstances really helped us win at Talladega, but being able to be at the front or find a way to the front at the end of these stages is what's important. It's how you get points. It's how you put yourself in position to win. So yeah, I felt pretty good this year anyways of how the speedways have gone for us when we've been in it past, like lap 2. So
How much talk, if any, kind of around the team is there about, heating up at the right time or carrying momentum at the right time?
Well, I mean, it certainly, I don't know, it feels like we haven't really done anything crazy different in the last couple months. We've kind of just been right here. So with Michigan, right, we just were able to finally win one that I think the speed's been pretty much there week in and week out. So yeah, it's nice to get some more playoff points like we did, but I feel like we haven't really surged or done anything crazy lately. We're just kind of staying right where we've been.
Toyotas at Talladega were proactive in sort of altering how the strategy played out. So if that happens against you guys and you have to react to other teams, how could that potentially change how you play out the final stage?
It's hard to look in the future and know how it's going to play out. We just try to have a plan and then a backup plan and then a plan when seemingly none of the other plans make sense. So I don't know. I'll just do my part in the car and I'll let those guys figure it out. They can see a lot more what's going on than me. I'll just focus on what's going to be important for what I can control inside the car, and that should give us some options.
With Darlington being the cutoff race instead of the first playoff race, do you think that'll change the character of that event at all?
No. I think it'll play out kind of the same way. That's kind of a place where, I don't know, tires always just mattered so much. And there might be a scenario where somehow you can set yourself up to maybe jump one or two cars to get stage points, but it's not like you can jump half the field like we can at some of these places where tires don't fall off as much.
Thank you.
I know Denny in the past has talked about sort of a 5-year plan for 2311, win that championship, but you're the regular season points leader. You made a deep run last year. I guess is the mood at the shop any different this year? I mean, this is year 4, I guess, technically. So is it like, hey, we're ahead of schedule, or is there like a buzz there that's kind of different that you hadn't seen before?
I think everyone's just really locked in what we need to do right now. We all get very excited when we win. Have days like we did on Monday, where we win and get the points lead. That's, winning is, anytime you can win when you're a young team like that, it's good for everybody. But even more than that, being able to jump Hendrick and and get to the front of the regular season points is a big deal for us too. So, yeah, obviously, we want to be contending for them, right? 5 years in, and I think we still got some things we're working on. We're still getting the pit department and getting we haven't even finished really building our footprint in 2311 yet, so we're still building up. So it's nice to be performing like we are right now.
Is that, I guess, like the next big step, or where do you guys see, like, in the short term, what's the biggest spot of improvement to make?
Well, I mean, I think the pit department's doing a really good job right now. We got good people in the right places, but we just don't quite have all the facilities yet. So for us to be showing up as close as we are week in, week out, it's been good. But it'll be nice when we finally have everything in place and where it needs to be.
I apologize if this was already asked, but initial reactions to the 11 teams penalty and it effectively taking them out of the...
It's a bummer. Hate that for them. I don't know how much of it's out there, so I don't really know much to say, but it's unfortunate that it happened to him. Denny's definitely strong enough place like here and Darlington, where we were certainly going to have to be paying attention to what him and the 11 team were doing. I mean, they've been one of the strongest cars, him and the 5, obviously, all year, and things just haven't worked out for either of them. It seems like over the last 2 months, they've had some races just not go their way. So we'll take what we can get, I guess, right? It's unfortunate, but it's one less car we have to be mindful of, I guess, today and tomorrow.
Now that Denny is in that position, are you worried coming up to the end of the regular season and throughout the playoffs with how much more he has to worry about himself, that you may not be able to count on him as much as an ally on the track?
No, none of that'll change. No, I think we're all really good about that as Toyota teammates. We take care of each other. So, yeah, I'm not worried about that one bit.
Chase and Kyle both alluded to the fact that they were actually kind of bummed at this penalty as well because it takes a top contender out, despite the fact that it takes one car out of the equation. There's a sentiment, I think, that was shared between them of you want to beat the best, right?
Yeah,
Do you
I hate
share
it
that?
happens that way for sure, right? It's just these things happen sometimes, Certainly, it's not very common, right? So, hate it for everyone involved. But unfortunately, there's rules for this sort of thing, and they lay down the hammer.
For these last 2 races, what's your strategy to secure that regular season championship? Is it to go out and maximize every point, or is it to go hard for the win?
No, I mean, I'd say our approach to speedways all year has kind of been similar. I don't think anything is really, as far as I know, nothing really changed on our end for this one. Darlington, we want to go in there, and if we finish good here, that will help us get a good metric for Darlington. I think that's really important. It really set me up to have a really good shot at the pole and be able to capture that in the spring. So I think for us, having a solid race here will just make Darlington a little bit more smooth.
You wanted Talladega earlier this season by being in position when Brad and Michael had their issue at the end of the race. Is that the position you want to be in here at Daytona too? Is just ready to pounce when the leader or leaders, inevitably go at it at the end?
I mean, I think everyone's trying to be in control of the top or bottom lane. If you're one of those first 2 or 3 cars in line, you kind of have a shot. I mean, it's not always guaranteed. It's going to kind of go up in ball flames, where it plays out like it did at Talladega. But certainly, everyone in this field is working and trying to play their strategy, if you will, to find their car off pit road, leading their group and trying to be the leader or the first 2 or 3 cars of each lane.
As tight as it is between you, Chase, and Kyle, does that put more emphasis on the stages tomorrow night and trying to be at the front of the field any more so than if you had a little bit more of a cushion?
We approach it, I think, whether it's 5 or 35 points, I think we'd still be approaching it the same way, honestly.
Now that we're 2 weeks removed from the option tire deal at Richmond, how do you feel about either moving to the softer tire, having the variability of 2? Have you landed on an opinion there?
Yeah, I love the option tire. That was fun. I think that, and then just the amount of separation between the 2 tires is really important too. I think as a minimum, we need to have that kind of a gap between the 2 tires on the pace and kind of how they fall off, those first 30 laps. That'll allow, teams to be able to, take a risk and do it like the 99 did and have success. So I think, not only was the option tire a win in my book, but just if we do do 2 tire compounds in a race, we need to have that at least that much separation between the tires for it to play out. And you see, some people come and go on a different tire.
The right side fin they've added, can you tell a difference? It's qualifying,
Here, no.
but, yeah.
Here, no. But certainly, if it gets implemented at other intermediates and whatnot, right? Air is so important with these cars. It's gonna change. It's gonna change how they drive, what they do when they step out, all that sort of stuff. So the sooner we can get an understanding of what that's gonna look like, it'll be good for us. I mean, it is what it is, right? It's a safety thing, but it is tough, right? I kind of got a really good feel of what this car can and can't take on the edge, and that's certainly going to change all that a good bit, I would expect.
How do extra side force, is that going to make it more stable, I guess, for the intermediates?
I don't know. I don't even truly know what the numbers are. I don't know if NASCAR said, hey, this is what I'll buy. Well, what we saw, this is what it did to the car, but yeah, just trying to get an understanding what those numbers are, and then just understand it and know it, and try to understand, okay, am I going to have to be more careful on the edge, or am I going to be able to be more aggressive on the edge? Just trying to get an understanding for that. So, yeah, I don't know what it's going to do yet. We'll find out.
How do you balance just battling for those regular season points, but also being able to kind of help Bubba get to the playoffs as well, because he's on the cut line and is just right outside of the top 16?
Yeah, I don't know if there's like a big balance. I think they're kind of one and the same. If we put ourselves in position to get stage points, working with our teammate, we're both gonna benefit from that. So, yeah, just more people working together is gonna be good for all of us. Obviously, you would think to some extent, right? Like, okay, Bubba has to win this race. You do this or that or hang in the back. That doesn't really work like it used to. So I think you still got to go out and try and score stage points, because that's how you're going to put yourself in position to win the race.
Thanks, Tyler.